Hey guys. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna switch the camera. So, you know where I am at today? Surprise, surprise. So, we went to go ahead and file a business commercial claims today. And it was interesting. You're gonna see the video from Lewis later on. I don't know when he's gonna get around to editing it, but when I wanted to go ahead, what is this? I'm gonna be laughing too hard if it's just the arms of the angel. That's gonna be bringing up a new image when you think about that Sarah McLachlan song. You know, the ASPCA or something like that. Uh, that you know what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Maybe when we were thinking about, was it Creed? Okay. So what was brought to my attention recently is that because Lewis has been busy at 141 West 27th Street, as you can see, he hasn't been editing video that much. Remember before he was doing these like long edited videos, and you would see him do live streams at home, and there was more interaction, like more kitty sleeping videos. The reason why you haven't seen that much anymore is because we're out, and then when we come home, we eat a little, and then we just go to sleep. It's a pretty, straightforward life right now, because the main focus right now is making sure that, progress is getting done at the new store. And I'm over here to make sure that people go over to 186, and then if there's deliveries, because we have had stragglers, that it doesn't get lost in transit. For instance, one carrier, even though we did a forwarding, they still want to bring it over here. And if I'm not here, they're not going to put a notice on the door. And my concern is that if there's no notice on the door, and let's say it doesn't make it to 141 to West 27th Street, the person sending it is going to get agitated, like, hey, did you get the notice that I sent the package over? And we don't want anything being stuck in limbo. So it's kind of old-fashioned in that way. I wish that things happened automatically, but for a number of things, it seems like you're just trusting the people who are doing the routes to remember, hey, don't send it over here, send it over there, and send it ideally immediately over there. So because of this, Lewis hasn't been replying to comments as much. When I'm in live stream, you see me like I'm there for a short time, or I'm not really interacting nearly as much as I used to. And his emails have been blowing up, and some of these emails are people who go ahead and, obviously taking time out of their day, giving advice or spending time really, trying to go ahead and help out. But he hasn't really been replying, or when he does reply, it's very short. And it's not to be it's not to go ahead and offend people. It's because he can't spend that time to make these long, drawn out thank yous or analysis of certain things as he used to before. So it bothers me and it saddens me, because when I see some of this stuff, I think to myself, okay, I understand that you took time out to write this stuff. I understand that you're going out of your way, but if you're not getting a reply immediately, or if you're not getting a long reply, please do not assume that he's doing it just to be a jerk. It just, and I read some of these emails, and it really makes me speechless, because I don't know how to handle it. I mean, he doesn't know how to handle it as well, because I think it's been very, very clear that he's been busy, that the store has taken up so much time. But what do you say to a person who's gone out of their way to make, such lovely things, or give, long drawn out, arguments that will help with certain topics, and they get a short response, and they expected more. And I understand why they might have wanted more, if they wanted a more timely reply, but I just want people to understand that it's not because he's blowing anybody off, okay? And he's really appreciative of it. You know, when I see certain things in the YouTube comments, for instance, someone had gone out of their way to make a new store layout, and they said, hey, maybe you should put the shelving over here instead of there. And they made a little Google sheet or Google mock-up that it could be printed out. The team actually printed it out and was looking over it. So it's not like nobody pays attention to it. Now, if this person, you know, got a big thank you, I don't know, but it was looked at. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's not like you guys are suggesting things and emailing things, and it's just like, yeah, I don't want to bother with it. It's just that it's a lot of volume. I mean, I look at his emails and it's just like tick, 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 tick. So I just wanted to go ahead and say that today. I don't know if anybody who is going to read, who have gone ahead and, you know, shot out certain things to Lewis are seeing this, but I just want you guys to know it's not because he's not appreciative. It's not because he thinks that, you know, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and just say thank you and I didn't read the whole thing. He reads it. He does. It's just that the email amounts are just so much. So yeah, there's only so much time to do in the day. Before, he used to be able to spend more time looking through the emails and really, you know, providing a lengthy reply to some of them. But now I'm seeing that he's spending so much time at work. For instance, setting up certain systems in place, moving things around, trying to work on efficiency, making sure that everybody has the resources they need. So when we are on our way here, we were told that someone's phone doesn't work. So he has to go to the store. He has to rush over there to try and make sure that their phone works. And it's not the front phone, but it's another employee's phone. Did I go back for the microphone? No, we did not. We actually ordered one off Amazon warehouse, by the way. Saved, I think, $11, which I think is sizable to me. So I'm always for it. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of think sometimes that when people see certain videos, like for instance, yesterday we went to the Museum of Natural History. I think he prefaced it several times saying he hasn't had a day off since Christmas. And maybe people see it and they're thinking, oh, you know, how dare this guy go out to the museum for a couple hours? He didn't reply to my email. Like, it's just, I don't see these emails all the time. He sees these emails a lot more than I do because I just so happen to glance at certain ones and, you know, it's just like, it's just like angry. And sometimes people go ahead and they show up. I'm not going to be naming names here, but they say stuff like, you know, oh, they just get agitated. And I understand it, you know, but it's not like he only has 5 emails coming in a day. It's way more than that. He has so many YouTube comments to go through. He tries to look through them, but I think he's even written a community post, you know, at this moment, he isn't able to go ahead and give the time and energy on the YouTube comments as he did before because he's busy at the store. He's worked 7 days a week. He wakes up, he goes off to work. A lot of times he doesn't even make time to eat breakfast, or he doesn't want to wait for me to make him breakfast because he just wants to go shoot over to the store and get some work done. And part of it is because that for a while, not all the employees was, you know, up and running. It's only recently that people have been able to do their work, but not everybody is able to work at full capacity because things need to be set up. Sorry, I'm gonna read through this thing, but this stupid thing, this stupid comment section. I wish I had another screen that I could look through, but maybe I should get an iPad or something, right? An iPad would be good. Okay. So let's see. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna read really quickly. JP, okay, you know the thing is that he always talks about his modelish figure, but you will never see him eat this stuff on camera. But you know what? To preserve his secrecy, I cannot confirm if he's been eating certain things like pretzel bites, but I will confirm that after taking some yesterday, he gave me some. I think he has this, he wants to preserve the whole, no, I'm not gonna eat bad food, and just maybe secretly eat it off camera where nobody can see him. But I should not confirm that or not. I should not confirm that. Yeah, I think it's because when people see that things have moved over to the store, they see employees working over there, they think, okay, everything's up and running. Not everything is up and running. There's certain things that have not been running perfectly. And Lewis is really the only person, with the exception of maybe a few employees, and they're not always working all the time, that can work on certain things. Yeah, so I do want to go ahead and stay at the new store almost every day as I can. Yesterday I didn't show up at the new store because there were no deliveries on Sunday, so I had a day off. You can see that I'm sounding a little congested because I got some sickness from an unnamed individual over here. That he just started spreading the germs, so I'm congested, and he so kindly told me that I was snoring loudly yesterday. I was like, yeah, I was congested. If my nose is stuffed up, I'm gonna be breathing from my mouth, so I'm gonna snore. Outsource email reading. It's, Arkan, he could go ahead and outsource the email reading, but the thing is that a good chunk of the emails that come out are from people on YouTube. So he wants to read it and he wants to respond to it. It's not going to be like one of those canned generic, executive assistant emails like, oh, thank you for sending an email to Lewis. Lewis really appreciates getting these emails, and I will forward it to him or something like that. If he reads the emails and he has time, he'll go ahead and give a response. If it's an email that's thought-provoking, then he will think about it. But he might not always go ahead and give a response. Sometimes he writes thank yous, but nowadays I see him, he's just reading the emails, and he's like, okay, reading the emails, and then he's not responding. But it's still in his mind. How's cleanup in the old store? It is chugging along. I'm trying to corral things. So I'm staying at 186, and then at night I'm catching a Uber or Lyft, and then going over to the 141 West 27th Street. As you know, there's not too much space in a taxi, and sometimes the taxis get in trouble. Most famously, we were trying to move a bunch of things using a taxi. I did not know that right in front of the store, it's like a bus lane. So if a taxi or a car is blocking the bus lane, they can get a ticket. So they can get a ticket for picking us up. So imagine when you're trying to load a bunch of boxes in, they have a higher risk of getting ticketed because it takes maybe like 5 minutes to load up a car and, have a person. And, that's assuming that there's two people here. If it's just me, then I have to go ahead and close up everything and take the box out, call the Uber, it just takes more time when it's just one person. So I'm slowly but surely, tortoise in the hare, kind of moving things slowly. Okay. Yeah, I agree. He does need to get more sleep. He does need to relax a little bit more, but there's just so much to do. And right now, he's just, even though he's sick, he has like a post-nasal drip. You can kind of, I don't know if you guys have heard him like sneezing. Sometimes in the stream or sounding congested. He's had that for, I think, close to a week or over a week. Yeah, JP, he did write something in the community page saying that right now he's trying to step back away from a number of comments or emails because he just doesn't have the time to respond to it. I think he wrote on the community page, like within the last week. So if you end up disappointing someone, it's not you to blame, it's them and their expectation that have nothing to do with reality. When people get agitated, like for instance, if someone spent 1-2 hours writing an email with all these, great ideas and Lewis doesn't reply for 4 days, how do you, I can understand why they're like, hey, I sent you an email, did you read it? How come you didn't respond? I can understand why they might feel that way because they think they spent so much time of their life sending an email, and then when he doesn't respond right away, then because it gets lost in the amount of emails that he gets, right? Then they're escalating and escalating, and sometimes you feel like, okay, I want to de-escalate that person, or worse, sometimes, as like you've heard him say about like the YouTube comments, sometimes the comments for one video, all of the comments got automatically sent over to spam. So he had to approve every single comment for that one video. And this one person called him, a jerk, and they said, how dare you go ahead and block me? And he was explaining himself, saying, it wasn't that he blocked them, it was because their comment got automatically sent over to spam. Did they apologize after he sent them a screenshot? No. Did they ever send him another comment or email? No. From my understanding, no. It's just like people, if people want a response and if they don't get a response, or if they feel like they've, he might have not seen it or he doesn't have the time for it, then it can cause some pretty heated emotions. And it's gotten to a point where I'm like looking online, like how do you de-escalate people who are agitated for, you not replying to them or, you ignoring them. It's, and they say like you're supposed to, empathize with them and understand. And I understand how they feel, but it's when it's being explained that, hey, there's so much going on in the store, there's not time to provide individual responses for all these emails and, a comment that someone left, sometimes I think people can feel slighted. So I was bringing it up to him. I said, what about the people who are, and this is out there, right? But imagine the people who are super, super famous and they get all this fan mail going into a P.O. box, like a huge P.O. box. I wonder if their fans go ahead and think, how dare this pop star didn't get back to me right away. I went ahead and wrote this long letter and I put some glitter on it and I didn't get a response from pop star. Does the person have that same issue, or do they just hope like, hey, I hope so and so saw my letter? Oh. Oh goodness, he has thousands of YouTube comments a day. You know what, Gamer Boy Genius, that's a good idea. I should bring a laptop over here. I know the perfect laptop to bring over here. But I don't want to lug Cleo black back and forth. So maybe I should put an iPad over here. What do you think? Grind cheese. Okay, hold up. Okay, someone is looking at the front of the store and they're just like reading it like that. Okay. Oh, no, I have a cold. I got a cold. Does Lewis have a server in the new store? If so, what operating system is he running, as I am looking to build a server? I don't know. I don't know. He has something. It's Erica, Erica. I'm far behind the chat because I have to physically move it. That's why you might see my hand go like this every so often. Like. Okay, one moment. No, I'm not using an iPhone. He actually takes a protein shake, and it has melatonin in it. I think it's like called, oh, I forgot the name of it, but it kind of has like a galaxy look to it. And it has some melatonin in it. Not a high amount, but it does help him sleep. Okay, bro, can you explain to me why the reason people are like this is because he made it that way? Stupid thing. Oh gosh. Lewis is 5'6". Okay, I know I'm behind. No, Kevin is at the news store. He does a great job, actually. He's amazing at multitasking. So I've seen him juggle certain things. I'm like, wow. That's the thing about working at the store. You have to be very good at multitasking. You have to be able to jump in and help out, because sometimes there is a lot of people who come into the store at a time where they're calling in. What's his favorite color? Probably blue and black. Okay. I have reached the end of chat. Yes. Oh! Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Sean, I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't know about this files and PFs and stuff. Yeah, Kevin's very good at juggling things. Hello, what did you miss? So long story short, what happened is that it's come to my attention that people are agitated that Lewis is not replying to emails in a timely fashion. And it's not just one person, it's several people. Or, you know, they put so much time and effort into sending an email to him, or sending images to him, or sending advice to him. And he's either giving them, you know, short responses, or he's not replying to each one individually. And because of that, people send angry emails afterwards, and some people have, you know, name called him, and it's not a good situation. It's one of those things where when you reply to an angry email, you know it's going to take a lot of time, because while you defend yourself, the other person's going to be telling their side of it, or, you know, saying how they feel, or, you know, blah 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 blah, or they might not even respond. So yeah, it's just, and I understand when people go ahead and maybe how do I try to receive. Hey, that's a good idea, actually. Hey, thanks for the email. I try to receive all the emails I receive, and we'll get back to you if necessary. Good idea. Good idea. But you know what the problem is? The word "if necessary." Because what if someone says, "Hey, Lewis, I want your advice for blah 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 blah. You know, looking forward to hearing from you soon." And he doesn't respond, right? It's like, honestly, answering all his emails on a daily basis and the YouTube comments would be a full-time job for sure. How does paradise compare to New York? So I have family in Hawaii, and when I call them up, sometimes they tell me, I ask them, oh, you know, how's the weather over there? They say, oh, Erica, it's so beautiful over here. It's nice and sunny, like 77 degrees. The sun is shining. The ocean looks wonderful. And I'm looking outside thinking, well, let me show it too. Looking, wow, look at that. I can't see the sky. It's just one big cloud and it's cold. Yeah. New York wasn't really known for its weather. At least that's what I think. But there's a video out there, and I sent it to Liz. Liz claims I didn't send it. I know I sent it to him. So he doesn't even see all of my text messages, you guys. He doesn't see all my text messages or Discord. Like sometimes I tell him, hey, did you read my Discord or text message that I sent you? And be like, no. But there's one video where there's a newscaster in Hawaii, and they're complaining, or they're saying how cold it is, how people should bundle up, stay warm. And the kicker is, it is 74 degrees in Honolulu. I think when I think about Hawaii, that's one of the reasons why I have something like 15 jackets in Hawaii, because I got cold so easily. And now I'm in New York. Sometimes it gets to like 33 degrees, 25 degrees. I'm like, oh, it's so cold. Have it be a canned response. He actually has a person who's supposed to help him manage his emails. However, they have been busy, so they don't respond on his behalf really. They just go ahead and, you know, like if a vendor has a question, sometimes she'll respond. I've seen people wearing sweaters on the beach and it's 80 degrees out. The problem with that is that I see his emails. Some people ask him very technical things. So if someone were to help him with responses, first of all, it wouldn't be directly from him, and that would cause an issue. Second of all, not everyone has the technical knowledge he has. So we do have certain people who go ahead and please bro on the emails. And I'm like, I don't know. We did get the hello welcome chime. I don't know where it is. Last time I saw it was with Paul. Do you actually have a job? Because you're always at the store. Okay, Shark with Manners. You know what? I'm going to answer this because it seems like most of your comments have always been regarding, do you have a job? What job are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. My job right now is to stay at the store. My other job that I have to do is trying to make Lewis's life easier. I have spoken about with him to go ahead and help out with the store. But I noticed, Shark with Manners, that you always ask me the same question over and over and over and over. So, yeah. Just a little agitating. Oh, am I mad? It's like one of those things where I hear, I don't know. It's like I hear people go ahead and some people actually send emails to Lewis about this. Lewis has actually a very stressful life, and there's certain things in his life that he doesn't have time to deal with, and I can handle it for him. Lewis Wrangler. Did you ever think you'd be doing this? Staying at 186? I don't think I could have foreseen it, but in terms of helping make his life easier, definitely. Before he had someone over here, and I was thinking to myself, here's the thing, if you have an employee who is able to do so many things just staying at 186, it's not very efficient. Won't you agree? So that person is now over at 141 West 27th Street doing a great job, doing a lot more than just staying in a store waiting for people to come in or, sending people over to the new location. What's wrong with you being there? I think sometimes people just think that I love being in a store all by myself. I just go ahead and stare at the wall. No. I have to keep a lookout for people coming in, and then sometimes people when they come in, they get agitated because they say, hey, I was told to come over to 186 First Avenue. And I asked them, I said, okay, who sent you over here? Oh, okay, someone told me that. An employee told me to come over here. I'm thinking to myself, okay, first of all the employees know if you send anyone to 186, you're going to get Erica. Erica does not know how to fix a computer at all, except maybe restarting. So when it comes to diagnoses, taking computers, I can't do any of that because I have no system here. I don't even have a post-it here. So why would any staff member send a person over to 186? But certain people like to go ahead and cling on to that, and then they get mad, and then I have to go ahead and think, okay, how do I de-escalate the situation? Because I don't want to have an angry person go over to 141 West 27th Street. So I've come up with a few little techniques. So far it's been successful, and they've gone over to the new location. But I can understand why they would get agitated. For instance, if they think that we're over here, they come over here, and maybe it's a lengthy train ride, and only to be told, sorry, I can't help you. You need to go over there. They might see it as a waste of time. Does Oreo miss his job? Funny you mentioned that. We are talking about Oreo's little workstation. He's gonna have a little workstation in Lewis's office, but all his stuff right now is in the basement because Lewis has to go ahead and figure out how he wants to have his setup, because he also wants to keep his bafang there, right? And he wants to keep that, I don't know what you call it, but that bike little T thing that they have the bike upside down when you want to repair it? He wants to get one of those things too. So however he wants to set up his office, I think that when everybody is up and settled, all the stuff is put away, and he feels happy with it, then we can really focus on Oreo. Because last thing you want is Oreo getting stuck in one of the cardboard boxes and he doesn't come when I call his name. So I'll be like, Oreo, Oreo, and we'll have to look through all these boxes all over the new store just to get Oreo. So the boxes need to be put away so a cat can't run into it. There's just so many hiding spots right now for Oreo. I do not have a sister. I'm an only child. I thought about making my own YouTube channel, and I was telling him yesterday, or a couple days ago, I want to live stream certain things for you guys instead of going in his channel, because I know some of you guys, when you see me on this channel, you guys get irked and you're like, I'm gonna send an angry email to Lewis. Hey Lewis, tell your girlfriend to get her own channel. I only want to see you and nothing but you. One person even said, they voiced somewhere, I forgot, it was through an email or a comment, but it was probably a comment. They said they didn't want to see any, useless people on this channel. It's just one of those things where I'm like, okay, nobody, they only want to see Lewis, nothing else but Lewis, no cats, no employees, just him, just solely focused on him. So I want to go ahead and live stream certain things for you guys, but I need 1,000 subscribers. And last time I checked, I'm at 67, so I guess unfortunately, I'm going to stay on this channel. Well, Harrison, you have too much faith in me hunting mice at 186. Too much faith. I'm not scared of roaches though anymore. The New York roaches that I've seen, they don't fly. So if you hit it with a broom or something, or if you spray them, they won't come towards you. The ones in Hawaii, they have these like B-52s. They fly. Oh my goodness, I'm so terrified of those flying roaches. I'm like, even big moths, like Hawaii has, I've seen moths this big in Hawaii, and they say, according to superstition, those are spirits. So sometimes when you see those big moths, I'm like, My technique that I had in Hawaii is I got this big Tupperware container and I put it against the ceiling or the wall, and then I would get a piece of like a magazine or a thin piece of cardboard and slip it between the container and the wall. So that way, when I fully slide that cardboard through, the moth is stuck between the Tupperware container and the cardboard, and then I go downstairs and I release the moth. And I got lazy one time. I took the moth with the cardboard, released it maybe about 20 feet away on the same apartment level, because we have like an open air apartment, you know what I'm talking about? And the moth flew right back into the apartment. I was like, oh gosh, it was terrible. Think of all the places, moth, you could fly that way, because I walked 20 feet away, you want to go fly right back into the apartment. And I kept the door closed, but we have a screen door, and there's like a little area where the moth can fly. So ever since then, I take a elevator down to go ahead and release the moth. So that way, for sure, that moth should not be flying many stories up to get back into the apartment. I have not seen any moths here in New York, though. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Okay. What the heck are you doing there to pass time when not streaming? Sometimes I go on, I check emails. Sometimes I go ahead and look at Discord. Go ahead and do certain things like make papers and also pack. Redirection coordinator, I'd rather do anything else with idiots that can't be bothered to be updated. Let's see. I think part of it too is that when I was in Hawaii, I used to work at an insurance company. I'm not going to say what the name is, but we dealt with Medicare. So when we got questions in, sometimes people were confused, lost, angry, and it really hit a peak when Obamacare came out. So people would call in to our phones, and this is a really stupid thing, okay? People would call in, you have about 20 people answering phones, and everybody has to get one of those Obamacare plans, right? So when people were calling in, they would be placed on hold. The supervisors had a really smart idea. They said, okay, People are getting pissed off answering, getting pissed off answering calls. So they're pressing buttons on the call tree to try and get another department. So instead of, let's say, Medicare plans or individual plans or group plans, they would be trying to call other departments, claims, for instance, trying to at least get someone to help them. And I remember there was this one person who called in, and my department was really small, okay? We only had 3 people in the whole freaking state that could answer billing questions, who was dedicated to that. I was one of them. And this was a large health insurance company. So this woman is, mad, and she says she's been waiting on the phone for 2 hours. She's pissed. And she tells me her name. And I think, that used to be my old dance teacher. She's so mad, and I distinctly remember this. When I had been her student, she's always so calm and poised and elegant. And here she is, like really raging mad. And she has such a distinctive name. That is the only reason why I knew that was her. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. But I told her, I said, I'm so sorry, I can't help you. You need to go ahead and wait in the phone tree. Yeah, so people got pissed off. They said, okay, we're gonna have an answering machine. We're gonna have an answering machine, so when people call in, they get the option of being called back. Do you know what happened? That answering machine filled up quickly. And it got to a point that there was a 2-week delay in people returning calls. Can you imagine leaving a message and then like 2 weeks later, someone says, oh yeah, da-da-da-da-da. And they were so cheap that they had my department and other departments helping out, but we were so limited by what we can answer. So I can't answer specialized knowledge for other departments. So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, oh crap. Sometimes I would reply back to them, and then they would ask me a question like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have someone give you a call back. Oh, it's so embarrassing. But it was crazy because the CEO was getting paid over $1 million. Supervisors, they were always talking about budget. And you obviously need to spend more money to hire staff, and they weren't so quick on filling positions. At one point, my team, we lost 20% of the people in 1 month. And then shortly after, they told me, Erica, you got to limit your overtime. It is little wonder why I had to go ahead and quit that job, because my doctor said I was at risk of getting ulcers. Yeah, I had to get a colonoscopy and endoscopy because I was so stressed out. There's only so much complaints I can handle in one day. And people, when they call in, they're mad, and some of them are confused. Like, there are people that I think had dementia or they were hard of hearing, so I had to yell at the phone. And the worst thing too is that my calls were timed, so they wanted me to go ahead and finish these calls in about like 3.5 minutes from start to bottom, and then you also have to listen to follow a call script. And if you don't follow that call script, you get dinged, or you could get pulled by your supervisor if they don't give you a good rating. That's why whenever I see call center people and they tell you that survey, be very aware that whatever you guys tell for that call survey, if they get, I think, like anything, if it's like 3 or under, they're gonna get most likely pulled by their supervisor, and the supervisor is gonna review the call, and they're gonna say, how come this happened? How could you have gone ahead and worked on this? And sometimes you get placed on probation. Yeah. It was crazy. The standards were ridiculously high. They wanted something like 99% accuracy on everything while you're juggling phone calls and paperwork and emails. It was a very dark period of my life. I will never ever work for a health insurance carrier ever again. Never. So, okay, so that was my whole spiel on that. So that's why when I hear people and they come in with complaints, I feel like I have some experience. Like, okay, I feel more confident on handling this, because if I can deal with people yelling with me on the phone, I can definitely handle, a few people or so angry coming in saying that, they thought they had to go to this location instead of the new location. Would you like some candy? Okay, Aaron, that is really nice, but I have no candy here. None. Are the walk-ups at least thinning out? It's hard to say because a lot of the times they come in towards the end of the day. Sometimes you have like people staring at the window, and then you have this people who try to come in the door. Then when I come towards the door, they just like run away. Oh. Oh, look at this. Someone's coming towards the door. Hello. Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Where'd you move to?
We moved over to 141 West 27th Street.
All right.
Just wondering, can we have the packages sent over here rather than to over here? Is there any way possible that we can have it automatically transferred?
Probably not. Not until you get the people sending them to know.
So there's no way for FedEx to intercept packages and then just send
Well,
it?
if it comes down the belt, when I get it, I'll send it down and you'll get it the next day or maybe later that day.
Okay. But I'm sure like this, there's other businesses that they moved locations and
Yeah, but see,
let's
we
say
gotta
the close-up shop.
physically for the first week, because it's the people sending them that put this address on.
Oh, okay.
It's not like FedEx does it, that we can just automatically change it. So not until the people that you're receiving stuff from know your new address.
So we'll let them know, but in the meantime, if there's any packages is coming over here, what normally is the protocol?
Well, since I have a new address that I just took a picture of, we have a person that corrects packages.
Oh.
And then we have it's called a misorder exchange at one of the stations, all the stations in the packet meet. And we exchange corrected packages. So you might get it the same day. If not, you'll definitely get it the next day. Because what I'll do, I'll kind of move and I'll put this address on.
Awesome. Would you want us, I know you're going to do it on your end, but is there anything that we should fill out on our end to, just make sure that you don't have to come over here to drop off a package?
Well, I know, I'm not going to take a look at it. I'm going to leave it in the station, they're going to correct it.
Okay.
As far as the post office and everybody else, I don't know what to think.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
All right.
You have a great day. Okay. So that is an example right there why I'm over here. Yeah. So we've been moving locations for quite some time, and FedEx just came over and you heard the exchange. So I'm going to have to assume that he's going to do his part to let the station know, or just remember, hey, this all needs to go to 141 West 27th Street in the event that a package comes here and I'm not here or nobody's here. What happens to that package? The worst thing would be if it got returned back to the sender. So someone sent something to us. I'm not going to say who it was, but maybe we could change the address on our end. Okay. Do I have a degree? Yes, so I have a degree, believe it or not, in English, marketing, and international business. Yeah. Hard to believe, I know, for certain people, because my English is not that great, and it's my only language. But to be honest with you, one thing I learned about college is that as long as you do the classes and you work hard at it, you'll do well. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be excellent at English. I'm not a writer at all. The reason why I got the English degree is originally I wanted to be a lawyer, but then I decided that I didn't want to go ahead and spend all my time on legalese or going to court or just dry stuff. So by the time I made that change in my mind, I was already halfway done with that English degree. So I went through the other half, took classes like poetry, that I'm terrible at poetry. Me writing poetry is equally as painful. And I got the degree, and then I thought, okay, I want to get a business degree. Is there any hidden mikus at the... new store. Paul has a Miko on his desk. Has Lewis considered advertising to let those customers know the store's moved? Oh, Jim, good question. Has he gone ahead and done that? I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully the stream doesn't cut because this is New York. So I'm hoping the stream doesn't cut when I go to the front of the store, but I will do this. Don't mind me. Ah! Okay. I don't know how you YouTubers open this and they do this so smoothly. Oh, look at this. I almost shut off the stream. Okay. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Is it clear that this location is closed? Ooh. Oh, look at that. We got this big sign over here. Okay, make sure I'm on the road. So we got that big sign. We got the "We are moving." And then here's my homemade teardown signs. Please take one. Here's more. And then here, and I don't know if someone ripped this part off, but there's only one left. So I think it's pretty clear that we have moved. If you're driving, you can see that we have moved. Whoops. And I put this over here for two reasons. A, if I'm in the back moving stuff and someone opens the door, I can hear it because this thing will climb. But it doesn't lock the door, so I don't have to keep going up and unlocking the door. Hold on, one moment. Yep, I gotta fight this dress. There we go. Ah, that was not good. That was so dumb. Yeah, let me go ahead and put it on the wrong side. Okay, so. Come on. Okay. Live chat. Did we move? Oh, don't trigger me now. Don't trigger me. Yeah, I got bachelor degrees. Dun. Sorry, I gotta keep. You're wondering why I'm doing this? It's because I'm doing this more. Ah, I lost that. Okay, so I can only. They messed up managerial wise. Okay. Thank you, YouTube. So I am stuck at 2:11 p.m. If you sent me anything earlier, I can't see it. Sorry. Thank you, YouTube, for that. But I did want to go ahead and. What could you send to Lewis to show him we appreciate? Feel free to send whatever you want. I can't tell you what exactly he would appreciate. I think he appreciates letters saying that, you know, you guys appreciate him. I think he appreciates anything that shows thoughtfulness, to be honest with you. Okay, so Freud said that they worked call center for AOL in 2002. Nightmare. Ah. Where did you move to? Yeah. Yeah, so FedEx, if you notice that I did ask him, hey, is there any form that we should fill out? Because to be honest with you, he shouldn't be coming over to 186 at all. If they have a package, ideally, it should go straight over to 141 West 27th Street. So USPS used to go ahead and drop packages off over here. I would be accepting them. And the reason being is that I was over here, so they dropped it off. The only issue with that is that because I'm coming to the store late at night after I close up over here, whoever is opening boxes or handling inquiries, they'll have a slight delay in me transporting the packages over. Also, why am I bringing packages from over here to the new store when we have mail forwarding going over to the new store? So yeah. So moving forward, I don't want to accept. I've been told don't accept any packages over here. Tell them send it over to 141 West 27th Street. Either that or it kind of defeats the purpose of me, the mail forwarding, because it's going to be so reliant over here dropping it off. Especially if there's like a new person. That was always my concern. Like, what if the person I spoke to? What if he's sick, and what if he goes on vacation or he's unwell, he's off for a day, the person who covers him comes over here 186, I'm not here. So then they say, okay, I'm gonna just slip a note on the door saying, hey, you got a FedEx package. If nobody goes to 186, or if this thing blows off in the wind or someone rips it off, that package might get returned to sender, and that person would get very agitated. I sent it over to you. Yeah, it was your old store, but it got sent back to me. I want my, blah, 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 getting fixed. So we have been contacted from people who have sent packages over to 186, and they freak out. They're like, the package is going to arrive today. I want to make sure that you guys get the package. Like, I didn't know you guys moved. So it's like, ugh. And it's not because I dread getting the packages. It's because I don't want people sending packages over here when I'm not here. Or if a person who's making the route isn't familiar that we moved over to 141 West 27. I don't want to lose any packages. I did not have a Suriname roadie. I'm mostly Chinese, Korean, and then I'm Hawaiian, and I'm like a little Caucasian. But mostly Chinese, and then followed by Korean. It's funny, though, because people always ask me, they said, oh, are you Chinese or are you Korean? I'm like, I'm both. And they're like, yeah, the problem with my brain is that I shouldn't be telling this to people, but when I study, the way I remember really well. I'm very good at test taking, because if any of you are in college, the way to do really good on a test is you study a week in advance. Every time you go to sleep, you're always going to remember a little thing. So I used to keep like notes or flashcards next to my bedside table. So before I go to sleep, right, I'm tired, I'd be like, okay, the definition of blah, blah, blah is this. And surprisingly, when I wake up, it would be like my brain remembered what I last read, because it's like I'm sleeping, but my brain is still focusing on studying. So I would wake up with new knowledge, and then if you do that for a week, by the time that you get over to test day, you're like, I know this. I know this because I've slept on this thing for the last 6 days or so. The whole idea of cramming doesn't work with me, because you see how I'm like congested and my nose is running and things like that? That's what happens if I stay up too late and I don't get enough sleep. So I realized that I was just causing suffering to myself. My head hurt, I was sleep deprived, and that's no way to be taking a test. The way to take it is make sure you prepare a week in advance. I know it's tough, but as long as you spend 5 minutes reviewing the material and you pay attention in class and you do your homework, you should be able to get this down. That was the most beneficial thing to me. Sometimes I would bring my notes, but that would be very rarely that I would bring my notes around with me to wherever I go. Like if I'm waiting for the bus, very rarely I would bring my notes with me. The most important thing is doing it right before I go to sleep. I think it's because that's when the brain is calm and it's calming down. Normally, like my mind was, I don't want to say empty, but I'm just ready to wind down. So I'm more open to taking in new information and keeping it in my brain. The only problem is that I don't remember this stuff long term. So if anyone asks me, what do you remember in college, Erica? I'd say, the thing I remember is networking is really important. Accept that everyone is different. Show up on time to your job. Try hard. And always be open to new opportunities when doors close. That's it. Yeah, it's just this vague thing. That's all that, tens of thousands of dollars of education brought me. I shouldn't say it that way, but it's, when I think about what I learned in high school and grade school, I don't really retain that much. Have you found anything in New York City that's better than Paradise? Prices at the grocery stores, restaurants, and movie theaters? Yes. There are a lot more food in New York than in Hawaii. You know, I mean, like, I walk down the street, I'd see restaurant, 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 restaurant. You walk in Hawaii, you might see like a restaurant every like half mile away. And it's not like restaurant, restaurant, restaurant. It's like, unless you're at like a food court or a shopping mall, you definitely don't have like the huge amount of bodegas and delis that is over here. So I like that, easy access to food. Prices, it's mostly cheaper than in Hawaii. I know your eggs are definitely cheaper than in Hawaii. If I wanted to, actually, what I take that back. Depending on what, because if you buy like those free range organic blah 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 eggs, then yeah, that's the same as Hawaii pricing. But the milk tends to be cheaper than in Hawaii because I think I showed you guys it's like $6.89 a gallon in Hawaii. Yeah, and the avocados, I was blown away. Okay, if I go to Hawaii, most likely, if I go to a grocery store, it's like $2.99 for one little avocado. I went to New York, over here. Sometimes you could see it like 2 for $3 or 3 for $3, and I just pigged out on avocado so much when I first came over here. I was like, there's so much cheap avocado. I ate a lot of avocado. Is college worth it, Erica? It depends. I think there's a lot of, and this is just my opinion, I think there's a lot of oversaturation. If you want to go ahead and work in Hawaii, it's kind of tough because there are very limited jobs in Hawaii. There's a lot of tourism related jobs. And when it comes down to it, it's all about networking for a number of these jobs. So they have to like you. And because it's a small community, it's easier to get a position where there's a limited amount of positions available when you know the person in a closer level than just some person who walks in. So it wasn't unusual for me to see people who went to private school who went to college or got college educated working at a grocery store or a little cafe, or doing little administrative jobs when their degree shows that they could probably do more, but because there wasn't that many jobs available, not everyone who's getting a business degree is doing business related stuff. Not everyone who's doing has a marketing degree is doing marketing. And that's why you find people working at different kind of jobs. Like I said, it wasn't unusual at all. I have an ex. He got a job at an account. He got a job. He had a degree in accounting, and he's pretty good with numbers. But he didn't want to become an accountant after he got the accounting degree, and now he's doing drop shipping of sorts. He's very successful in that. So although he's not being an accountant, he's very successful at what he does, that he makes the numbers work for him because he's very good at, keeping track of orders or amounts or, fulfilling certain things. And I'm really proud of him too. I think one thing that would be really good is, instead of just focusing on maybe business degree, English degree, it's better to get trade school. Go to trade school, become an electrician or plumber. That's just my thinking, because everybody needs, electricians. You got the unions working there. You can work for yourself. I don't know about saturation about those things, but I always think it's a very specialized knowledge. It has more barriers to become like an electrician than it is to just go to college and take the classes. Get that YouTube degree. Oh. No, do not send him an Omaha Steak gift card. He's a vegetarian. The only person eating those Omaha Steaks would be me. Ooh, I think bibimbap sounds better. GP, if you're going to be sending me bibimbap, thank you, though. Okay, someone's asking me if I believe in God. Here's my stance on it. There are just so many cultures and religions in the world. I don't know exactly what is out there, but I do acknowledge there are things and spiritual entities out there. Now, if it's just one God or many gods, I don't know. But all I know is that as long as they aren't a God of harm or they're not wishing ill on people, then I respect all of them. And when I do pass away one day, I hope that they all are okay with me. Yeah, that's the way I put it. You know, I mean, like, depending where you are in the world, right? There's some small rural communities and little countries, maybe in the Amazon rainforest, they have their own deities, and you know, go across the other side of the world, there's more deities out there. I don't know exactly what it is out there. There's just so many things out there that can't be explained. So that's my sense. And I know there are people out there that say, you know, you can only have, you know, faith in one being and one being only. I respect that. I think it's very possible that there is only one being, but I don't know for certain. So that's why I'm just respectful to everything. I don't care if you're, you know, Buddhist. I don't care if you're Shinto, you know, Catholic, Christian. You know, if you're Hebrew or da 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 da. I respect all of them. I just hope that when I do pass away, like I said, whatever's out there is like, hey, Erica, you can go up. Maybe it's a giant cookie monster in the sky. If I pass away, I'll see this giant chocolate cookie, and I'll be like, you know, hopefully it'll say, you know, you can come into Cookie Land. People are so different. There's so many different cultures out there that I don't feel comfortable only holding myself to one. There's just, you know, there's just so much history. You go into a museum, for instance, right? You know, yesterday we went to the Museum of Natural History. See all these different cultures. They have all their different deities that they believed in. You know, good for them. If it made them a more righteous person, if it gave them strength in a time where they were lacking strength to move forward, then that's good. What's that? I don't know what that is, lady baby. Okay. Dang you, shot. For Porio. Oh, thank you, Papa D. 146 a gallon? Where do you live, Aaron? That's so cheap. So cheap. What, 220 in Utah? I don't know how you guys do it. You can get science field jobs in Hawaii. Oh, by the way, so one of my exes, he is a family member who went to New York to study for a certain science-based degree. It's one of the best in the country. So if she had stayed in New York, she said like the pay would have, what I've been told is that the pay would have been like $120,000. But she didn't want to stay in New York, so she moved back to Hawaii, and the pay for the same kind of, you know, job or whatever you need is only $70,000 in Hawaii. So it's not unusual for people who live in Hawaii to move over to the mainland to get for better opportunity and better pay. Most of my friends that I've had in high school no longer live in Hawaii. Wow, real milk is $8.50 for 1.5 liters. Something tells me though that milk is very good. I should change the channel to Erica Live. Oh, I don't know about that, you guys. I know I'm really behind on chat. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the thing I say too. I understand that people are different, and I respect those differences. And I ask that if I'm different, then please respect that as well, because I'm respecting that you're different from me. And there are certain topics out there, for instance, that if I express views on that, for instance, I'm gonna say it anyway. If, for instance, if you believe in, I don't know, if you go ahead and you have, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say there are certain times where I am just being a regular meat eater, and then I see comments like, "Don't you, why don't you think about the animals? Don't you care about animal suffering?" And to be honest with you, I know very well about what goes on in slaughterhouses. I'm very aware of it. I started looking into it when I was in high school. And I still hear comments where people say, if you saw what was going on in those slaughterhouses, you would become a vegan or vegetarian. Now, my thinking is that I don't feel comfortable cutting out animal products and animal meats completely from my diet. I think that there are certain nutritional benefits that are in having animal proteins or animal meats inside of the diet that you can't get through a vegan or vegetarian diet. And I know that I feel a lot more calmer and on point when I do incorporate animal products. I'm not a big meat eater now, but I do eat small amounts here and there. So when people go ahead and tell me, or they say, how can you go ahead and how can you have this knowledge and how can you still be a meat eater? My response to that is that I try to be, and you can laugh at this if you want, I try to be a responsible meat eater. I try to limit my consumption of meat, and if I do consume meat, ideally I want it to be an animal that was treated well, ideally. So if an animal spent most of its time outdoors, or it says it spent it on the pastures, then I would like to support that. I think the best way to go ahead and slaughter an animal would not be through factory farming, but rather if it was done on a small farm, and if it was raised on a farm and processed or slaughtered on a farm, that way they don't have to deal with the transportation. So there's some animals that get carted hundreds or possibly 1,000 miles to go over to a processing plant, and it's very traumatic on the animal. But I do acknowledge that it's not possible for all these animals to only get processed on small farms, because we have a big country. And even in Hawaii is not known for having a lot of animals, on small farms. A good chunk of it, you have to go ahead and some of like cows, for instance. Most of our cows get brought in from the mainland, but there are certain cattle farms on different islands that they say that they raise them on open fields, and that was the kind of company that I would like to support. So but that's what I'm getting at. I know I'm a meat eater, and I respect people who do eat differently than me, and I just ask that they respect me as well. Let me see here. How's the cost of living? 70K might be in Hawaii. Between Hawaii and New York, it's actually very similar. Like, I think the prices between Hawaii and New York very close. So if you can afford living in Hawaii, you can typically afford living in New York, and vice versa. I think we should always go ahead and we should always, yeah, Paniolo cattle, if I remember correctly. Or maybe I'm thinking of the wrong island here. Yeah, always good to be respectful. Actually, I do want to watch Game Changers. I'm kind of interested in that. I have tried grasshoppers. I've tried fried grasshoppers, fried larvae of some sort. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was this little novelty snack that they would serve like fried larvae or grasshoppers in barbecue sauce or ranch sauce. Not ranch seasoning. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't something that I would constantly eat. You like animals that died of natural causes? Well, yeah, ideally all animals should die of natural causes, but here's the thing, a pain-free death. So I was reading online about how there's this one company when they go ahead and they process chickens, they gas them. So they all go to sleep before they process them. So the chickens hopefully don't feel anything because they're all fast asleep. The other problem with that is that it's a small scale, and I don't know if this is gonna sound funny, I don't know if there's enough gas of that certain thing to ensure that this can be projected on a larger scale nationwide. I also don't know about the effects of having all this gas used to gas all these animals so that way they die relatively painlessly or they just go to sleep. I don't know the environmental effects of that. But I do believe that if you are a meat eater, you should be comfortable with the idea of processing your own meat or slaughtering an animal yourself, because it's too easy to if you go to a grocery store to think, okay, the cow just magically appeared like this, like a life was extinguished so you could have that piece of meat. And it's important to be respectful not only to the animal but also the people who work at the slaughterhouses, because a number of them, I don't think they're terrible people like serial killers or anything. They just want to go ahead and provide for their family, and this is a way that they're able to. Are animals aware of their moral mortality? I think all animals want to go ahead and survive. They have an instinctual survival instinct. Yeah, well, like I said, I don't know about if that's really feasible to go ahead and bring large scale amounts of gas to make all the animal goes to sleep before before it's slaughtered. But the other problem too that I see is that I think if you advocate for humane slaughter, which is I think a good compromise, you'll also have the people who are saying, well, okay, let's say you have a farm and you're gassing all your animals so that way they just go to sleep. You will inevitably have people who say, well, why are you even gassing the animals? Why are you confining them to the pens? Why don't you just go ahead and let them just live a free existence? The same people who probably advocate we shouldn't house animals, we shouldn't go ahead and breed these livestock for there's also people who believe that we shouldn't harvest honey. And I think to myself, okay, you don't believe in consuming honey, okay, we shouldn't overexploit the honeybees, okay. Did you know that a lot of honeybees pass away when you're harvesting or when you're trying to propagate those almond trees for almond milk? Yep. It's very stressful for the bees to go ahead and work on almond trees because there's so much pesticides used for it. And then also when when you want to grow almonds, it uses a lot amount of water. So that's why some restaurants or some cafes, they don't want to use almond milk anymore because they say it's very stressful for the bees. You have a high mortality rate, or a greater mortality rate than a number of other things, and then because of the pesticides, and then it's also wasteful for the resources. So when you're saying no more almond milk, you also have to say, okay, well, I'm not going to do almond milk, I'm going to do cashew milk. Well, cashews, when you process that, did you know that a number of countries, like in India, they actually process cashews using their hands, and because of the gloves can slow them down, the way they get paid for cashews is by volume. So they don't want the gloves hindering them, slowing them down, and also the gloves can easily tear. They process the cashews using their fingers, and then the acid on the cashews burn their fingers. So it's very cruel for humans. So I don't like consuming cashews very much at all after I heard about that, because I thought to myself, I have to acknowledge, human suffering because I want to go ahead and eat cashews. So I try to limit that. I'm not saying no to cashews, but I'm saying I'm not going out and really buying cashews unless I want to go ahead and really, really, really eat cashews or something like that. But there's always a trade-off. So if you have no cashew milk, no almond milk, I guess you're going to just say, I'm going to have oat milk or soy milk. But soy has a lot of pesticides, if I remember correctly. They say it's actually environmentally damaging. Now, that's what I've heard. I haven't researched soy as much, but people have said, soy milk isn't that good. And I know there's going to be people out there who say, Erica, you should go ahead and, look into this other milk. But you just have, when it comes down to it, it's a give or take. You have to think about animals, you have to think about humans, and what are you comfortable with when it comes down to it? The bees pollinate a lot of fruits, and they work very hard to go ahead and ensure that we have a lot of agriculture and a lot of things in our grocery store. So we do need to go ahead and be respectful for the bees. We do need to protect the bees. And I think it's kind of strange when people go on the whole, I don't want to consume honey because of the bees, but then the bees are working very hard and dying phenomenal. Let's see. Oh, I don't know what that Japanese way is. I was actually, so fire toolbox, I was actually looking into that. I thought to myself, okay, let's say tomorrow the whole country says we are no longer going to go ahead and eat meat. Or let's just say we phase it out. What's going to happen is that you're going to have farms that cannot, or they do not see the value of having animals. So they're going to either A, not breed them anymore, or B, get them slaughtered because it doesn't make financial sense for them to house them. So I guess those people who have farm animals would be forced to go ahead and grow crops. But if they're in a land that crops don't easily grow, then you have to transport them. And what do you eat? Bugs? Yes, I have tried bugs. Yeah, that's the other thing. I've always gone ahead, and when people criticize me about being a meat eater, and this is all my opinion, by the way, you don't think that when you are eating plants, you're displacing and you're killing and poisoning a lot of animals and bugs just to go ahead and be able to grow crops? There's always going to be killing involved. That's what it comes down to. Always going to be killing. It's just a matter of what do you go ahead and what do you feel comfortable with? Because as humans, we need to consume something. We're not breatharians, right? Something's always going to have to be displaced or moved over, or, so we can go ahead and grow things and harvest things. there's a number of things that, you know, there's animals that are killed while they go ahead and they just harvest crops, giant tills. I'm thinking maybe it's just me. I think I don't know. The thing about coconut milk is I've heard about coconut milk, I've heard about oat milk, but what was I gonna say? I read some people have concerns about the fat of coconut milk. And in case anyone's wondering, no, I do not go out and buy gallons of milk. I don't prefer the taste of milk by itself. I have had the Impossible Burger. If aliens land on Earth and you shoot one, is that murder or hunting? We have no laws that cover that. God, I'd be terrified of shooting an alien. I'm afraid that if I shoot an alien, the giant spaceship is gonna go up and take me, and then it'll be like X-Files over here. I don't want to hurt an alien. No, I don't know how I feel about eating alien meat, okay? Because I know that when it comes to lobster, you're supposed to go ahead and boil it in water because of all the toxins or poisons within it. So I think if someone went ahead and tried to like sashimi alien meat, it just, I don't want to think about the bad things in there. Can you imagine if someone found one of their siblings found out you killed an alien and they just want to get retribution on you? Oh. Yeah, a lot of the cows here are corn fed. I think that I think it's better to keep cows and grass fed. It's healthier actually if they're grass fed. I also think it's better for the cows because they're out there enjoying the sunshine, getting some exercise, not having to stay on the concrete all the time. That's why I'm a big supporter of small farms. I think that when you have small farms and they care about their animals because they've been doing this for generations upon generations. You know, the kind of farms that they say, you know, if you want to go ahead and see how we raise our animals, like swing on by, we don't have anything to hide. And they take a lot of pride in their animals because they don't just see them as a number, but they see them as something that they've raised from when they were small. And it's through the animals passing, it'll provide a means of income for the family and also sustenance for the community. Those are the kind of farms that I think there needs to be more of. The only problem is that when you have big corporations which become, you know, breeding factories, a number of them can go ahead and shut down these small farms because small farms are actually more expensive than larger farms, like big corporation chicken versus going out to your small chicken farm and, you know, 2 hours away. It is expensive, but I like to think that they go ahead and they care more about their animals. So I think it's very important to go ahead and try to make sure that an animal has a good life, or try to ensure that they suffer, they have the least amount of suffering when they are slaughtered. Don't big companies mostly own all farms in America? I don't think they own all farms. There are small farms here. I know like in New York. I know in New York, like if you take like a 2-hour drive away, there's all these little farms out there somewhere. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think farmers are the bad people. I think that they you can't go ahead, and if you are for animal rights, you don't portray farmers as, people who love the suffering of animals, or they're contributing to murder. They're nefarious people, because when you see small farms, or you see like documentary small farms, they look like they're just working hard, tilling the land, trying to make sure that they collect all the harvest, able to put food on their families' tables. I used to go, when I was in Hawaii, I used to help with low income students at one point, and there was several low income students and their family were farmers, and they would work very, very hard to go ahead and sell whatever they produced. It wasn't some super profitable business, but something that they believed in. And these were very nice people too. Do a tour of a slaughterhouse in Flushing. I can't stream it, that's for sure, Sonny. I can't do it. I can't stream it. I've seen some videos of that. I've seen some really pretty horrific stuff. And there's been times where I have to just pause it because I'm like, oh, frick. So I can't do a tour, that's for sure. That is 100% for sure. I can't do that. You're right. So David, you make a good point. The food waste. We do have a lot of food waste. I just found out a couple of days ago there are several apps out there where the restaurants are trying to reduce their food waste. So what they do is that they say, hey, if you go ahead and you come by X amount of time to X amount of time, you can buy stuff for like I don't 50% discount. And that way they prevent food from going into the landfill. I was also made aware before I moved over to New York that a number of restaurants throw things out, and I don't know why not everything goes over to the food banks here, but it's not unusual to hear about bakeries just throwing breads and bagels all into a trash bag and just leaving it on the streets. That's the other thing too. I'm gonna get into that. The amount of homelessness in New York really horrifies me, because I see them all around and it's cold. And in Hawaii, I saw homeless people, but we have these things where it's called, I forgot what the name of it is, but they're trying to move them out of the city or keep them into shelters. It's terrible. So there's a sit lie ban in Honolulu, for instance, that I'm aware of. I don't know if it expanded anywhere, but you cannot sit or lie down on the street, if I remember correctly, in Honolulu, and if you're homeless, because you can get the cops called on you. And what their idea behind that is that they're trying to get people into the shelters or get them into housing. But people don't want to go into the shelters because I've heard complaints about, bed bugs or, stringent rules. They don't want to be told what to do. Or if you want to get housing, there's a long wait for that. So for whatever reason, Honolulu is deciding, okay, we don't want to show off these homeless people, and they go farther and farther and farther away. So now I don't really see as much homeless people as I used to when I was in Hawaii years ago. But I think it's still bad. Now in New York, you see homeless people all around. I see some of them every day at the train. I see them walking around, and it's cold, and they want food and they want money. And I had this situation where I was walking back. I was walking to the new store, and this guy was right in front of a Two Bros Pizza, and they have a special. They say, I think it was like 2 slices of pizza and a drink for $3. And he told me, he said that he was hungry, and he wanted to have 2 slices of pizza and a drink. I was right outside of Two Bros, so I said, you know what, I will buy it for you. And since we were right in front of it, I said, okay, come inside with me. I will buy you the pizza and the drink. And I was thinking he would come inside with me, but he told me that he wanted me to give him the money because he'd rather purchase it himself. And I was confused because I told him, I said, you told me you were hungry, and if you're worried that I'm gonna poison you, don't worry about it, because I will purchase it. You can have the food in your hands. I will purchase it, and I won't touch the food at all. I just want to make sure that you have food. He wanted me to give him the cash instead, and he stuck with that story. And then he told me, he said, I'm not a thief. If you think I'm a thief, I'm not a thief. Look at me. I have bedroom slippers on. I just want money. And it was one of those eye-opening experiences because I didn't know what to do. I thought, okay, he told me he was hungry. I offered to buy him food, and now he wants money. So I gave him $1. I didn't give him $3 because I thought, okay, I don't know what he's going to be doing with this money. And honestly, I guess it's none of my business what he does with his money if I'm freely giving it to him. But it really bothered me. It really bothered me because I want to help out, but I don't know how to help out people when they tell me they're hungry and I offer to buy them food and they don't want the food. I mean, I can go ahead and tell, why don't you go into a shelter? Why don't you seek assistance? But it might not be enough. So I've been looking on threads on Reddit, how to, what people would recommend to help the homeless. And some people say, bring sandwiches with you and give that to them. But then I've also read how other homeless people, they don't want to take sandwiches and they don't want to take food because they have concerns that it's poisoned. So it's a tough situation, and maybe you guys can give me some guidance about what to do, but I don't know what to do. And reading. Yeah, and it's something because if someone is hungry and if I have like $1 or a cup, some change on me, and they ask me for it, I'm inclined to think, okay, I want to help you fill your stomach. I don't think anybody should be, go out hungry. And if you're willing to go ahead and ask people for money and get like 100 rejections, right? I want to go ahead and make a person's day a little brighter. But I think to myself, how can I really help them, or how can they go ahead and get help long term? It's difficult because when you're homeless, you have limited funds. It's hard to get on your feet. You probably don't have access to a shower constantly, and I really feel for them. But I've never been homeless, so I don't know how people get from homeless on the streets into transitional shelter and go on from a job. I think it takes a lot of steps in there. I don't know what New York has planned for their homeless, but all I know is that day in and day out, I see so much people asking on the streets, asking for money, asking for food, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I've also been told that there are people who are professional panhandlers, and they can get upwards of $300 a day. Just panhandling. Oh, someone is over here. One moment. Hello, are you looking for MacBook repair? We actually moved. We're no longer at this location. You were just on the phone with them?
I didn't even tell me.
Oh, okay, so here we go again. I was just told that someone was on the phone with someone at the store, and we didn't tell them that we had a new location. And I tried to handle it, but she was just like, oh, that's great. Like, ugh. I guess that's what we have to work on. Go ahead and tell people when they call in and they say that they want to come over. We want them to come over to 141 West 27th Street. But if you go Yelp us, or if you go on the website, you will see that it does clearly say 141 West 27th Street. That's one of the things that I notice while being in the front like this. You have to have a thick skin, because you'll have people who like throw their frustrations at you. And I understand where she's coming from, because she probably came up over here and she has she's in the rain. I understand how she could feel frustrated, but I think, like, don't go ahead and don't take it on the person who's in the store. But it's easy to do that. It really is. It's easy to go ahead and lash out, and that's why for being over here, you need to go ahead and you need to have this like protection kind of thing, and don't feel too bad about it, because if she had stayed, I would have gone ahead and said, if you want, I can go ahead and let them know that you're coming, but she just walked away angrily, and maybe they'll be maybe she'll be mad when she calls into the store and blame the store for that. But I think that when people call in or they say like, oh, are you open right now? Most gut reaction wouldn't be, oh yeah, we're open and I just want to tell you our location is blah, blah, blah. But maybe that needs to be done. I don't know. We do have a sign that says we moved. Yeah, I don't know. I should have a call. Let's see. Okay. It's not safe for Erica to be out in public with money, lol, she's too kind. What do you mean? I mean, if you're talking about in the store, there's like 0 cash register here. And you got a Sharpie, a scissors, soy milk, which I'm thawing out because the fridge was too cold. And yeah, that's about it. It's not, no, I don't have any concerns about what number they called. I know exactly what number they called. There's only one number. But if someone called up and they said, hey, what are your hours today? And we said, oh, it's, let's say 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. And they hang up. An employee or any person wouldn't go ahead and say, our hours are 12 to 8, and just so you know, we did move. Maybe that does need to be said, because if you have one person who's agitated that they came over to 186 and they assume that, hey, you're still over at 186, then it might be worth it saying that extra sentence. That's just me. Just as a whoops, just in case. But I have heard people say, someone told me to come over to 186. I've heard that one too. Like, I've been told to come over to 186, and that's why I came over here. And now you're sending me over to 141 West 27th Street? will you have to be on delivery duty? For the foreseeable future. I see someone over here. Hold on. Hello. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I got something that wasn't an angry customer. An angry prospect. Let's see. Thank you to whoever sent it. Oh, thank you. Oh, it smells good. Okay, so. Kevin, you know, if anybody wants to take this like $1.69 soy milk and just walk in there and say, I'm going to swipe your soy milk, they can take it. They probably want that soy milk more than me. Is Lewis the only American who never passed the driving license? Okay, from my understanding, Lewis has not taken his his driving license test, his road test, because there's really no reason to, and I'll tell you why. First of all, in New York, where are you going to park? Where are you going to park a car? I have a driver's license. I don't want a car for two reasons. A, I don't know where to park it, and B, have you seen the way people in New York drive? Holy crap, I don't feel comfortable with it. Like, my reaction time isn't as fast. Like, some people, they go ahead and they hard brake. Other times, they cut in front of you, or if you pause a little bit, they'll be like, honk, honk, honk. I've seen it where traffic is stopped for whatever reason, honk, honk, honk. But the way I go ahead and I don't let all this honking get to me is one simple solution. Okay. If someone has road rage towards you, the best way to de-escalate it in your brain is to think, man, this person's honking because they really need to go to the bathroom. They must have a small bladder, or they really have to, like, really, really go. So if I was in that situation, you better believe I'd be honking, 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 honking. Like, I need to get to the bathroom, honk, 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 honk. So that's why I'm probably the person who would be least likely to have road rage towards other people, because of that. And I've had people cut me off, but I think when people see how I kind of drive, like, you know, like a grandma, in a sense, like a slow grandma, I try to be a very considerate driver. Like, if anyone wants to go in front of me and they're signaling, if they're signaling now, because I'm not a mind reader, if they're signaling, I'll be like, oh, okay, you can go in front of me. Okay, you can go in front of me. I'm very, very nice. What do you enjoy most about your job? Well, to be honest with you, what I enjoy the most right now is being able to interact with you and talk with you, because I like hearing what you guys have to say. I like, you know, seeing your little quips that you make. It amuses me a lot. And it honestly brings a smile to my face. And sorry if I'm behind on schedule. Did not mean to do that. It's really pickle juice. No, there is no way this is pickle juice. I know this is not pickle juice. Did you know that when the pickle salt war was going on at 186, Hi was eating so many pickles? Did you know that? He probably saved money because he didn't have to spend as much money as he normally does for lunch. So he's just eating pickles. Are you kidding me? In New York, in the US, anyone can get a license? No, there's actually been stories about people who've taken the road test many, many, many times and they haven't passed. I think it took me about 3 times to pass my road test. Now, here's the thing. If you guys ever take driving ed, I would recommend, and I know most of you guys are probably out of high school, but if I could turn back time, I know, like a Cher song, I would go ahead and I would take driving ed class when I was in high school. So some of them, they have those group classes that you could take with other people and you pay like a set amount. I would do that because I took private lessons, which was like something like $30, $40 an hour. And here's the thing. When you take hourly classes, there's an incentive for people or instructors to go ahead and drag out these lessons, right? So a few of them recommended, oh, take the road test right now. Take the road test. So I took the road test 2 times. And what they told me is they said, yeah, take the road test. I took the road test. They knew I could not park. They knew that for a fact. They knew I could not park. And you know what happened? I failed it. Do you know why I failed it? Because I didn't pass the parking. I ended up having a family member help me out who didn't charge me. And I got it. I got my road test. I passed the road test due to that. I really think that the private instructors, and this is just my personal experience, they didn't focus on helping me park because most of the time I was just doing hamster circles around the island. Even outside of the driving course, they were just having me drive leisurely around. But I can obviously drive leisurely around. It's just parking was my obvious weakness. And they didn't focus on that. Looking back, they should have focused on that. But I was paying it out of my own pocket, and my family didn't know what was going on. They just said, oh, okay, Erica's taking driving ed classes. She's paying for it. And that's what happened. So I got my driving license, I think about 2-3 years ago. And if I didn't have my family member helping me out, I probably would not have my license. So highly recommend taking group classes. Learn from family, learn from friends, and beware of those individual lessons. I can't speak for all other people's experiences, but for me, it was just a waste. And I think I spent something over $700 on those lessons hourly, so you can imagine how much I was driving. And like I said, most of the I would say 75% of the time was spent driving circles instead of parking. I just wish that they said, okay, we're gonna practice parking, and that's it, so you can pass the exam. And then also when I rented the car out to practice for my road test, I had to pay $75. $75 for that little road test. And one of the instructors, he knew it was my first time taking the road test. We got there. He didn't even make sure I checked in. So I went there. I sat down. He was there before me. I sat down, and they were waiting like 2 idiots. And I missed my road test because I didn't check in. Now, this was when I was in my early 20s. Sorry. Oh, thank you, JP. It's bulgogi bibimbap. I'm gonna eat it off stream. Oh, so you think it was very lonely without you for so many years? Lewis's life? No, he had BlackBerry. BlackBerry. No, that is not a Nell's walking stick. I don't know where they had that walking stick. I have no idea. Yeah, I do not want to ride a bike in New York. Are you kidding me? Okay, if you see the GoPro footage today, we were going to the store, right? This person grabs a chair and he flings it into the road. So had Lewis been maybe about 30 feet ahead, that chair would have probably knocked him off his bike. Some crazy person just grabbed the chair and just threw it over the bike lane. So it went through the bike lane and it went between the road and the little shoulder area, for lack of better description. I do not trust myself in New York roads. I don't know if he's going to go ahead and show that, but you'll see it. Yeah, I don't know how to drive stick. I just drive automatic. I have a white Toyota Corolla. Do you get your desk at the new store? No. How young is Erica? I'm 31. Okay, Duo, you are skilled. You are very skilled. You never took a driving class and you passed for the first time. How did you know? You know what? Someone must have told you how to, you got to stop 3 seconds behind the stop line. You got to make sure, turn your head left and right and left when you make that turn. Signal. So you had a really good instructor duel. Whoa, look at Sin. Jadman and Kubota tractor when they were 8. Dang, I would figure out how fun driving a tractor is. Who is my favorite coworker at Rossman Group? Coworker. So someone who's not the boss. Definitely the man that I love, Oriole. Oriole's my favorite coworker. The security guard. But he's taking advantage of his indefinite vacation right now, his unlimited vacation time. I really do hope they have driverless cars, and the reason being is that it's not that I don't trust people driving well. I just think that there's too many bad drivers on the road. All it takes is one drunk driver, for instance, to cause, a light to be extinguished. So there's been a lot of tragic cases where you hear about people passing due to drunk drivers. My best friend in grade school, one of my best friends in grade school, we parted ways after she went to a new school. I found out she got killed by a drunk driver. Yeah. She was only in her early 20s too. And it wasn't just her, it was also her mom. So I feel really bad for the family because can you imagine that they're just driving and it wasn't like she was at fault. It's like you're driving on the road and you don't know what happens. All it takes is one bad driver to go ahead and cause this kind of thing. And, some people, they have automobile accidents and they never fully recover from it. Do I have any issues of the lack of gender diversity at Rossman Group? Okay, here's the thing. There are women employed in the store. You just don't see them because they don't want to be on camera. But don't think that, every single person who's working in the store is a male. There are females. Actually, I don't think a number of you have seen all the staff in the store because they just choose not to be on camera. Sorry. Actually, the employee of the year should actually be the ultrasonic machine. Whew. Dang, dirt bikes up the trails on the woods. Ooh. Oh, the ultrasonic uses the least amount of space in the whole of all the employees, technically, because it's just a little cube, right? So I was telling him, hold on. I was telling him he should have an Employee of the Month award, but we just but I guess it was decided against because if you do that, it would just seem like, okay, who's the hardest working employee? That's hard to say, or who's really deserving, because everybody puts a lot of work into everything. Let's see. Always whining loudly. Oh. So, I know I was talking quite a bit, but what saddens you a bit? What is the greatest skill that you bring to the store? I would have to say it would be my willingness to go ahead and brainstorm and recommend things, even if it gets shot down like a I'm always open to whatever suggestions that people recommend, and I'll pass it forward. But I think when people are stressed out, I try to go ahead and find ways like how can you de-stress the stressful. So I have a few ideas, and I don't know if it works, but I hope the employees are happy. Don't say that, Adrian. Don't say that. You better be knocking on wood. Lewis is going to be very agitated if his baby breaks down. Let's see. If you could fire one employee, why? Oh, come on. You know what? I mean, like, the Kevin thing is not true at all. Kevin is really hardworking. He does. I think I said it earlier in the stream. He's able to juggle multiple tasks. I think he's a rock star. The only thing that I wish he could do is do the work of like 6 people. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But that's impossible. But he does a really good job in the front. Randomly selected employee. Yeah, it was about the angry emails. That was the thing. Just to go ahead and summarize earlier, Lewis was getting angry emails from people saying that they were agitated because he wasn't replying to them in a timely fashion, or it was very short. And some people, when he doesn't reply, or if he keeps the reply short, it can be seen as disrespectful. And I was telling people, I said, you know, it saddens me because I understand how some people can go make these like long emails, right? And it has a lot of thought and work behind it. We can tell. I can tell. I mean, just like seeing the sheer length of some of these emails, you can tell someone spent a lot amount of time on this. So if they don't get a response from him, or if it's very short, then some people get irked and they get pissed off, and then they send a follow-up email and it's all angry, and it's like, yeah, sometimes it involves name calling, and you know, some people say like, you know, oh, you know, I'm gonna unsubscribe from you and blah 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 blah. And your first gut reaction is you should go ahead and try and tell this person like, no, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's not because I'm just being, you know, uncaring. I don't care what you said. It's just because time is very short. And if someone's writing an email like this long, you're not gonna, you know, he doesn't have time to write an email like this long or this long or this long. Sometimes it would just be like a short, you know, thank you for what you sent. But depending on how people interpret it, they could see it as, you know, you're blowing me off by just saying, you know, thanks for the information. Like they want more than just that. And then it turns into a, you know, a situation where it's uncomfortable. Hold up a second. Sorry, it's my finger having to move up. One day, like if there's ever a camera here, you just see me like this. At all. What is Lewis's favorite Girl Scout cookie? I don't know. I don't know what his favorite Girl Scout cookie is. I can't answer that. But I do know that he does help Girl Scouts sell cookies. Oh, by the way, in case I never told you guys, if you really want to help a Girl Scout troop out, you know what you do? You ask the Girl Scout leader, or you know, the mom figure typically, or the adult figure there, what is your profit on selling these cookies? And most of it is like about, I think it was something like 75 cents or 70 cents, something like that. And it was so surprising because the Girl Scout cookies was $6. And I thought to myself, okay, you're only making 70 cents profit off of the $6 cookie, and the cookies are getting smaller and smaller. Like, I remember the cookies used to be more, I mean, it used to give you more cookies. So I just go ahead and give them like $1 or $2 to help the troop out, because I'm not going to spend $12 in Girl Scout cookies. So I'd rather just give them the cash and just say, yep, here, take it. I'm going to help the troops out. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and plug my YouTube channel, even though there's like nobody there. I might have 67 subscribers if I'm lucky. I don't know, maybe it went up, maybe it didn't go up. Are you guys scared of the coronavirus? To be honest with you, no. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I think if anyone catches the coronavirus, the scary thing is you don't know where you're catching it from, right? You could be walking down the street, going down the subway, something might happen over there. You know, someone coughs or sneezes on you. And no rational person is going to keep themselves indoors all the time. I did hear, I don't know if this is true or not, someone thought that they got the coronavirus because even though they were wearing protection on their nose, they didn't protect their eyes. Because, you know, germs can or something. I forgot what the term is, but it can go through your eyes. That's what I've read. So I'm not afraid of the coronavirus. I hope I don't get it for sure. I hope nobody gets it. I hope the virus just goes away and just disappears, and you know, people who are sick get better, and there are no more people dying from it, because it's sad for someone to go ahead and pass away from an illness, and if there's no cure, especially, and you're just hoping and praying, and people are under quarantine in their houses, and they're just praying that they don't have it, or if they have it, they hope they don't get worse to the point where they pass. It's just, I feel really bad for them. I did read, actually, that there was a cruise ship. I want to say it was in Yokohama. I might be remembering wrong. But there was a cruise ship, and then when they decided to go ahead and isolate all the people who possibly had coronavirus, like I think a few people on the ship had coronavirus, and then instead of just taking away those people, they said, okay, we're going to isolate all the people on the cruise ship for about 3 weeks. There are a lot more people who have coronavirus because of that. So there was an article that said something like, if they didn't go ahead and they didn't keep everybody on that ship, the amount of people who had coronavirus would have been lower. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I saw online. Yeah, the Eugene situation, I think it was a big life lesson, but I also think it's just one of those things with life, right? I guarantee you that wasn't someone outside. Outside about, you know, the store location being 141 West 27th Street. But yeah, the thing with Eugene is that I think it was a very eye-opening experience. I wish it wasn't such a costly one, but you know, real mistakes like that cost real money, as you know. And it was, I like to hold on to the belief that because of what Lewis and the store went through, you guys are a lot more aware about when you hire a contractor, what to look out for. Make sure you vet the person, do a background check if you can, because if you're handing people thousands upon thousands of dollars, you better be able to trust them. Get a you know, ask to see their prior work, get some referrals. Don't just rely solely on word of mouth. And that was a blind side because it was a personal contact. Man, this is something that it didn't just happen to Lewis. This has actually happened to other people. And that, you know, like the learners, for instance, they didn't live in New York. They had a home in New York, but they weren't residing in New York. So they trusted Eugene to go ahead and do the work. And according to the court documents, they were in such a state of they really wanted him to pull through that they kept giving him money, and he didn't pull through. What the court case said was is that at the end he just photoshopped it, and he was like, "I'm done." And then they went over to the house, and they realized that all the work was just photoshopped. A lot of the work was photoshopped, and then they go ahead and they win a court case against him for over $100,000, and they have not seen a dime of it because he doesn't keep any money in the bank account, allegedly. So I fully believe that whatever money that Lewis lost because of Eugene, it ended up saving over that amount for all the tens and thousands of people, over 100,000 people watching about what happened to him. Because a number of you guys have seen it from beginning towards end. And there were some whistleblowers, but then there were also a lot of people who had faith in Eugene that he would pull through. And that was the blind side. You don't want to go ahead and think, hey, this person could possibly be a scumbag, especially when he knows that eyes were watching him, especially when he said, I'm going to make a story that your viewers will be happy with. He knew that donations, helped fund so much of that construction. And then he would, to have the audacity to say, I'm going to make a story that your viewers can be happy with, and then just run off with the money and not answer any phone calls anymore. That's just a scumbag move, in my opinion. And the sad thing is that he's still doing work. He's still doing work. From what we've been told, some people have said that they've seen him driving around in his company car. And I'm not saying anything except that. So I can only imagine if you're driving a company car, that's because you have work that you're going to be going to or you want to pitch. And he's just going to keep continuing what he can do. And I think it's almost like an act of defiance. It's like, okay, I screwed all these people over. The learners over $100,000, Lewis over $30,000. And it's like, okay, well, let's see what other person I can take money from. And then I'm just going to ghost them and just move on to my next target. No remorse at all. No remorse. No remorse. So please do your work if you have a contractor. Learn from this experience. I think as a team, everyone is much stronger, much more aware. And we're just, just look forward. Don't really look back. Learn from your mistakes. And I'm really happy, and I'm really touched by how many people sent emails out saying, I'm sorry what happened. I'm a business owner too, and that happened to my company as well. I've had, and that was something like people were coming out of the woodworks saying that they've owned businesses and they've been screwed by contractors. People who are homeowners, they said that they hired a contractor, the contractor did a crap job, they hired another contractor, like the contractor filed for bankruptcy, they hired another contractor, and then they ghosted them after they paid them. And they're like, I still don't have my house fully remodeled yet because they can't find a good contractor. It's not an uncommon problem. And that's what really tears on my heart, because I remember hearing about these contractor stories for many years. I just thought, oh, okay, these people who hire these contractors, it's because they're lazy, or they don't they don't really get someone that they feel that they can trust. They're probably just thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna hire this contractor. But when you have a personal referral, which is what some of these people had, you just think, oh, okay, I just hire them because it's someone I can trust. So let me see here. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can't remember what my YouTube streaming name is. I can't check because if I go ahead and check, I know it's like Pink Senna, but if I click the X, for instance, it would end the stream, so I can't minimize it. And I don't trust this YouTube app because it freezes sometimes. YouTube. Yay, some big subscribers. Yeah, Pink Senna. 81, thank you. Yeah, docked in Japan. Okay, yeah, so many people got. Have I heard anything more from Eugene? No. He's still alive, like I said. Yeah, I want to do a live stream, but I have only... Oh, you know what? People, if you see Duel, you should subscribe to him because he's had a channel for 10 years. He only has 60 subscribers. Don't worry, Duel. I will subscribe to you so you're at 61 at least by the end of this. I mean, well, when I get home and I check this thing because I can't do it right now. Wait, can I? Let's see. No, I cannot. Sorry, Duel. I wanted to get you to 61, but I can't. I actually have an idea about the Eugene situation. I'm not going to say it in this stream. I might say it in Patreon, though, because it's hosted on Vimeo instead. So... But what I will say is that, so you might have seen on Lewis's YouTube page, he had a privacy complaint, and Eugene won. So it got taken down, the video got taken down, which is something because the only information that was shared was public record court cases. And some people said, hey, Lewis, you're going ahead and you're sharing sensitive information. No, these were public court cases. Anybody can look it up with. They have internet. PDFs, you can download the whole learner case if you wanted to. Yeah, I told Lewis, I told him, I said, if I ever won the lottery, I would buy him a building. I would, if I did. But, as you know, that's like one out of many, many, many millions of chances. That way he would not have to ever deal with a New York landlord anymore. But I would not be able to protect him from Mr. T. Carning not picking up his trash. Can Lewis repair desktop? I would assume he can, but I know he doesn't like fixing his own computer sometimes because he's like, oh, I deal with this all day. I want to fix it on a computer. Have you found a good pizza place yet, and do you fold the slice? Okay, the only pizza place that I've liked, and I've tried several of them, is Two Bros, and it's like the cheapest $1 pizza place. I think when it comes down to it, I'm just, my taste buds just like cheap pizza. And I tried the more expensive slices, the premium slices, but just like, I just like my simple, cheapy Two Bros pizza. I was telling Lewis that. I said, why don't you start your own karting business, huh? Like Rossman Karting. You call us, we'll show up. We'll make sure of it. Either that, we'll fire someone. Oh, look at Hi. Yeah. Hi. The lottery's attack on stupidity. If you win the lottery, then you won't feel stupid. You'd be like, this is the best investment I ever made. The only problem is that I'm not in tune with the universe enough so that they could send lottery numbers into my mind, and I'd be like, okay, 1, 86, 41. I'm just kidding. I'd be like, okay, let's get all the numbers from everything around me, and I'm just gonna put on a lottery ticket. I'm like, hey, your Powerball number better be 8 or 6. Who knows? Oh, thank you everybody who helped me with 20 subscribers. I was telling Lewis that I found out, okay, this is my speculation, okay? So, for my own experience, but I found out online that they said that in New York, Chinatowns the business is heavily dwindling because so many people have fears of coronavirus. So they don't want to go ahead and shop at Chinatown, eat there, just show up in Chinatown. And it's not because of It's because they're afraid that, you know, with like the Wuhan, that's where the coronavirus came from. I know what you're gonna say. It's demonetized, but because of that place, oh, I thought someone was coming in. Because of that place, they're worried that, hey, what if someone who is Chinese has relatives that visited China and then they came back and they had the virus all over here. So they think, okay, I don't want to visit Chinatown because I'm afraid that that person might have the virus because they might have visited someone who just came back from China. And I was telling Lewis that last week there was a woman coming in. I mean, she was outside and she looked like she wanted to come in, right? And I was in the back, so I came around the corner and I go ahead and open the door for her. She's like stepping back away, and I'm thinking, I'm not really a terrifying girl at all. And maybe she's just spooked. Maybe I'm a scary person. I don't know, but it's like she was just backing away from the door. Like, oh, I don't want. It's like that look of shock. I was thinking to myself, why are you so scared of me? Maybe it was that. Maybe it was something else. Maybe I just looked especially scary that day. I don't know, but I laugh at it now, and I think maybe she thought I had the virus. But I wasn't sick, so it wasn't like I was sneezing or coughing, and but who knows? I just hope the coronavirus goes away. Yeah, it's I remember I saw this one YouTube channel where this guy is scratching lottery tickets off, and he said something like he had won about let's I'll just give a figure, like $13,075 in lottery tickets in that year. But you know what he said? He said that he spent $13,000 on lottery tickets, like the scratch off ones. So I thought, okay, if you spend $13,000 on scratch off tickets and you only gained $75, well, you basically came out ahead. That's a scary thing. I mean, I know there's people out there who probably go ahead and they spend a lot of money on those scratch off tickets or those lottery tickets, hoping that they somehow get lucky and get the lucky scratch off or the lucky lottery number, but the odds are heavily stacked against him. I had not heard about that. Can you tell me about that, Steven? The man that tried to rob a store by threatening to cough on the clerk. I wouldn't be. I think I'm more worried about the bodily fluids than the actual anything that he has. I'd be like, how do you, like, it's not just coughing. You'd have to get the fluids into your mouth and then like that. Because if you do a dry cough, I don't feel like anything goes out. But if you have like a wet cough, you'd have more spray. You are scary. I know, I'm scary. I'm very scary. Maybe I was puffy that day. Erica, I sent something evil to Lewis at the main store. Should be there in a couple of days. We'll see who dares to eat it. Okay, Jeremy, if you see a video where Lewis is having a meltdown over a package that was sent, I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you. I'd be like, there was an evil man named Jeremy who sent something to you. Evil. No, but thank you. I'm pretty sure if anyone dares to eat it, it'll probably be me. Ghost pepper dog food? Well, hold up a second. I'm a Pisces. You think people at the store would venture to eat ghost pepper dog food? Every breath has some aerosols? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just like... I was just thinking, like, so if I blow into my charge port, there's a possibility that it could give off less humidity radar, like, hey, we detect some fluids in there. I mean, I'm not going to blow into my charge port. Dang. Sorry. Yeah, I need to get, like, another monitor or something over here so I can go ahead and reach out instead of going like this all the time. Oh no, I know you didn't send anything dog related, but Pixis said ghost pepper dog food. So I was saying, what, you think the staff eats dog food? Oh. How's Operation Stroming going? So Sunny agreed to go ahead and participate with me. I'm waiting for other people to join too because 2 people tackling a can of Stroming is a little too much. So maybe Copaz wants to do it. Hi, Anel. Can't do it in the new store though, that's for sure. I'd be raising Lewis's heart attack once he sees that, you know, bulging can come on, and I'd be like, watch out, there's some noxious fumes in here. So, gotta be somewhere else. What am I watching? You're watching me speak while I'm waiting for possible angry customers or deliveries. You know, it's raining right now, so I imagine people, if they walk in, they'd be more angry because they'd be like, it's raining and my shoes got wet. I had to battle the cold, wet elements to come over here. I mean, I would be more agitated. But would I go ahead and I'd say, yeah, you know, I was talking to someone at the store and they didn't tell me to not come to 186. No. Oh, thank you. So I have 100 subscribers. Copaz will do it. You know what? Copaz has gone suspiciously quiet. I think Copaz, when he hears me mention strumming, is like, hey, I have left the live stream chat. Not here. Erica, for the love of God, please do not open Stroming anywhere near any place you care about. Don't worry, I'm going to open it in open air. Really? Hi will film it? Hi, you will offer to film it? But you're not going to eat it? You have to try it, though. It's a delicacy. And plus, how many times in your life could you actually tell someone, you know, I did try Stroming? You know, actually, now that I think about it, I think it would be a really good conversation starter. If you say, yeah, what was the most interesting thing or the most grossest thing that you've ever tried? And you could tell someone, well, I've tried that Stroming thing. I can almost guarantee you, nobody else has tried it. They don't sell that on Amazon. It was very, very hard to locate. You have to get it shipped overseas, but JP had gone ahead and sent a can over here. So it's sitting in a very safe spot on Lewis's kitchen counter. Very, very safe. Oh. Yeah, I was thinking it would be kind of nice to have a meetup group or something. But I don't know if we would have enough Stroming for everybody. That's the only problem. If we had like 5 people and then every person brought like an ingredient, like one person brought the cracker, one person brought the sour cream, and one person brought the chives, it'd be kind of nice to have a little Stroming party. No, I mean, like, okay, here's the thing, JP. You have that party, nobody's going to want to ever come into the store again. I would honestly think someone would call like hazmat team on here and be like, oh, it smells like a dead body's in here or something. Oh, I think Lewis knows about that. I don't know if he fixed it. I don't like the Christmas trees. Tell that to the people in Maine who are surrounded by beautiful Christmas trees. Yeah, I don't have my link here. Do I wear trousers? No, I don't wear trousers. Yeah, I heard that durian. I've tried durian red October, and I love durian. I do like durian a lot. But here's the thing: if you've never tried durian, I do admit that it has like an oniony off taste to it. So when you drink it, it tastes like onions, but it tastes like a strange enough custard mixed with onions. Strange, but surprisingly a little refreshing. I used to keep it in the refrigerator in my apartment, and I could be about 30 feet away, and I could still smell that durian in the sealed off refrigerator. I was like, oh, it smells so fragrant. Open the can outside of Eugene's house. So as you guys might have heard, I originally wanted to open it in Central Park on Valentine's Day. I thought it would be kind of funny. You know, imagine all these people in their nice picnic tables or other blankets being like, I love you too, with all their roses, and all of a sudden you smell like a wave of like stinky fish. I thought it was just gonna be hilarious, but you know, I don't know what direction the smell would go, so it'd probably either go downwards or upwards. Now I'm just kidding. I'd open it underwater, so hopefully there wouldn't be that much smell. It'd probably just smell like a wandering, really bad fart going somewhere. Yes, it is. Durian is what made him Himon Ken. But I don't think it was the durian itself. I think it was because he didn't have a straw. But he says he doesn't like the taste. So I ordered it off a food delivery place, a durian smoothie, and they didn't include a straw. And if you've ever had like an Asian smoothie or like a, not like a, or even like a Jamba Juice, they give you this big fat boba straw because there's like tapioca balls on the bottom, and then if you don't have a straw, you have to like literally chug it like this. And that's not how I would recommend anyone have a durian smoothie, because it's a acquired taste. So he opened the container and he drank it, and you could see it was like, and he dumped it in the trash can, which is a total waste, because if I was there, I would have drank that durian smoothie. I would have prevented it from going into the toilet or the trash can. It was very, very sad. How many customers do you redirect to the new shop a day? So far, I think it's only been like one person, but I've been lucky because a lot of people are looking at the signs and they're not, they know, okay, just go over to 141. But there will always be an occasional person who, if they're in the neighborhood or if they aren't checking the online website and they have a broken MacBook, they'd be like, hey, let me just come to 186, because they've always come here. See, like this one person's like staring in front of the window with his umbrella right now, and he just passed by, he's just like looking. I don't understand how Andrew Zimmerman, you know, the bizarre foods guy, he doesn't like durian. That's really strange to me. I think he just, if he tries durian enough, he'll like it. I was the same way with natto. When I was younger, I didn't like natto a lot. I hated natto. I was like, oh, it's so slimy and gross. But now I'm like, natto's not bad. After trying it about 15 times. And then finally, I liked it. But I still don't like uni. Sea urchin. Yeah, if I open that Stroming and I smell and I have to do a live stream and be like, yeah. So I just want to tell you guys that Lewis is not allowing me in the apartment because he says I smell like stinky fish and I have to go to a hotel for the night. And you know what? It would be worth it though. He'd be like, I have to scrub down and put all my clothes in a sealed garbage bag to be sent over to the laundromat for them to thoroughly wash the smell away. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I need to create at least one channel. Okay, so here's the thing. I cannot live stream on that channel. So the only way I can make a video on that channel is I have to pre-record it and then edit it and then upload it afterwards. Kind of like what Lewis does like 95% of the time. And I don't like doing that. I mean, I don't want to go ahead and just sit down in front of a thing and be like, okay, let's just talk to myself. I want to go ahead and have like an experience where if I try a food, like you guys could actually see it. So, but it's problematic because I have to think about potato quality coming in if I don't have good internet connection. Like right now I'm stationary, there's a tripod here. So I can just talk and hopefully the streaming quality isn't too bad. But I want to like go to Chinatown, walk around and be like, ooh, what looks good? Okay, I'm going to go in that store. Okay, you guys look at the menu. What should I order? I don't know what to order. And then you guys can make suggestions or I'll try it. And the only thing I will not try is organ meat because I don't like the taste of organ meat. And there's something very squeamish to me about intestines. But other than that, I'm open to trying anything. I know most of you guys won't be visiting New York for a while, or if you do visit New York, you're not going to be staying here, wandering around in areas and seeing places that I might be seeing. So that was my idea. I want to also go to like places that are highly rated, highly coveted, such as Golden Corral and Olive Garden and Five Guys and Chick-fil-A. I want to try that because I've never tried those places before. Sonic, I've never tried Sonic before. And yeah, so I am excited about that. And I want to see how it is. Can you do a tour of the old store? I can do a tour of the old store. But honestly, there's not much in here at all. It's the same thing as you've seen last time. It's like a 10-15 minute drive away. You know what the thing about natto is though? The thing about natto is a very slimy consistency. It's like snot. It's like snot. So, you know, like when you blow your nose out and then you got that slimy snot coming out, that's exactly the consistency of natto when you eat it, if you over mix it. I don't like blue cheese. It's too strong a flavor for me. Unagi is good though. Eel is good. What's Prahok? Prahok? Prahok. I don't know what that is, but that sounds absolutely disgusting. Pastrami, Prahok, and natto sandwich. Yeah. Sonny offered to go ahead and try it with me, so I'm excited about that. I want to see what his unfiltered response about this stuff is. He could, if he makes a Tinder, he can go ahead and tell a woman that he tried pastrami. He's a brave person. Yeah, you're supposed to open it underwater and rinse it well, like under a bucket, so that way the fumes don't go out. Real question is how long until the cats accept you back? Okay, my money is on Oreo accepted me the first, because he used to be a homeless cat. So if he's okay with the dumpsters and everything, he'd be okay with me and pastrami. How many subs would it take you to upload your first video on YouTube? I think I can upload a video now. The only issue is that I would have to record it, and then after I record it, I have to edit it, and then put it up on stream. So, I don't know, it's kind of weird, like if I just talking to a camera, and I don't see any people, I just be like, okay, hey you guys, I'm eating food, I'm by myself, talking to a camera. I can't be like any of those YouTubers that get totally hyped talking to camera. I don't know how they do it. How they get hyped up talking to like a square without any words flashing. I feel like, man, I'm boring myself just talking to myself. You can stream it, you just need a laptop? Oh! Okay, so I need to go bring a laptop with mobile hotspot capabilities then, right? Whoa, wait, hold up a second. I need a laptop, so I'd be streaming from my laptop? I'm confused. And you would not want me to stream on Clio. I'd look like a total potato. I'd have like 6 megapixels on my face. Try bat soup. Where do you get bat soup? PRZ, I can't pronounce your name, said, "Hey Lewis, you shaved yourself or what? You're looking good." Oh my goodness, you could shave all the hair off Lewis's face and body and he still wouldn't look like me at all. Okay, I have 117 subscribers and I need just 3. Oh my goodness. I think it's like 893 subscribers. More? Yeah, I visited Japan. Actually, I take that back. I did try a fried intestine dish, a Chinese fried intestine dish in Hawaii. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't something I'd order again. And they gave you a lot of intestines too, because I think it was pig intestines. So it was like a huge plate, and obviously I'm not going to eat the whole intestines by myself. You need a gimbal with tripod legs for your phone. I have a tripod with legs right now. It's like 3 legs. Golden Corral is the buffet version of Russian roulette. I love it. I love how you describe it because some people have said Golden Corral is complete trash. Other people have said it's pretty good. And this one person, when we were in a car ride in Maine, I forgot it was Lyft or Uber, he said the desserts in Golden Corral are good. So I'm kind of fascinated by it. I'm like, okay, will it be good? Will it be bad? I don't know. Oh, Sonic didn't make it. Oh. Sparrows in Times Square. They had one in Hawaii, you know. They have one of those little sparrows in Hawaii. I don't know if it's any different in Hawaii versus New York, but because it's a chain, I'd assume it should be the same. Good pizza. Very greasy, though. We need daily updates. You're going to look at this. Osh gosh. Osh gosh, my gosh. Okay, Rose. Rose said, Erica, you have 117 subs on your channel now. Please don't forget us when you get to 1 million. We were here from the start. Okay, here's the thing. You're saying don't forget us when you get 1 million? That's very optimistic thinking. I mean, how long did it take Lewis to get to 1 million? It took him many, many, many years. Many years. I think, yeah, I don't see myself getting 1 million subscribers. But if I get 1 million subscribers, I imagine I'd have to go through the same thing Lewis has, where they'd be like, Erica, you know, I tried to contact you and you didn't reply to me, and I'm pissed off because, you know, I expected a reply or I wanted a timely response. I'm like, oh crap. It's just hard, you know, it's like, oh, I just, every time I see those angry emails, I think, how should this be handled? You don't want people thinking that you're a jerk because you didn't reply in a timely fashion. But then, you know, with so much things going on in the new store, it's not like someone's sitting down in front of the computer thinking, hey, let me go ahead and just reply to emails all the time. I can guarantee you right now he's not looking at emails. And I don't have access to his emails. So I don't know what he's getting in right now, but I know he's getting stuff. Oh goodness. So JP found baby octopus and he's having it sent over. So you guys are gonna see something. JP, if you send over baby octopus, can you please ask them for extra utensils because I'm gonna have the extra baby octopuses I'm gonna bring it over to 141 West 27 so other people can try it. Lewis should try facial hair. It could be awesome. Okay, Jeremy, I've seen him in the morning before he shaves. Let me tell you this: when he wakes up in the morning, that facial hair it just like grows like it can't wait to like pop out of his face. So I have a good feeling like if he didn't shave for a couple of days, he'd just look very rough. Cause you know he got the dark eye bags going on because he works such long hours. That'd be good. Bat soup sounds like. I think in Palau or in Micronesia, they eat fruit bat soup, if I remember correctly. I've never tried it, but I believe that is a dish there. You know what the thing is? I've tried to stream. I've tried to stream from my Pink Center account, and they're like, oh, you need at least like 1,000 subscribers. We're not gonna just let anybody start streaming. I know. I can't plug my channel because I don't have the link and I don't have access to a computer right now. And the only way I can link it is by copying and pasting it. But I only have my phone here. Oh, thank you, Glenn. My cat said hi. Aww. Oh, okay. Jessica just blew my mind. Okay, yeah. A tripod means I had 3 legs. Tripod. Whoops. What is a golden corral? It's a buffet. Yeah. I've actually seen on Reddit or online, they have pictures of Golden Corral's kitchen. You know, how it looks like when everyone throws their dirty dishes. It's like overflowing, and it's just like, oh my god, I would not want to be a dishwasher there. You guys gotta check it out. Like Golden Corral, like dirty dishes or like kitchen dishes. It's just like all over the place. And if I remember correctly, the restaurant said something like their dishwasher was broken that day, so when the image was taken, it was at a really bad time. Okay, he sent baby octopus. Food challenge to prepare her for the stroming. Wait, JP, wait. Hold up a second. Weren't you the person who told me that the grossest thing you ever tried was baby octopus? I'm pretty sure you said something like that. When you eat the baby octopus, it's like... Yeah, I'm not going to say much other than that, but it's like they didn't clean the head out, so there's all this like grossness behind it. Did I like my unstuffed plain dosa? Okay, Joseph, you are triggering me. It was like a big cracker with sauce and salt in it. You will suffer on my pain. We'll see. Maybe if I got lucky, maybe this place prepared it differently than from JP, however JP had his prepared. So I'm gonna eat it, and I'll be like, yeah, this was like a total walk in the park, JP. I don't understand what your problem with this little octopus was. It's actually, you know what? It's okay because I remember the news store has a bunch of forks. Okay, baby octopus is one of the 2 things I've ever attempted to eat that I could not, in fact, started making him eat. Wow! Wow. Wow, baby octopus has that effect on JP. You know what tastes good though? If you have like spicy baby octopus and they put like this Korean spicy sauce on it, and then you grill it on the grill and it's like really crispy, that's good. But I've never tried it prepared and any other way. Yeah, the other was uni. Okay, so there's a good chance, you guys, because JP doesn't like uni, that I might not like the baby octopus, but we'll see. Outseeker said, Lewis would look like the wild man of Borneo after 2 days. Actually, you know what? If Lewis grew out his facial hair, you ever saw that? What was that? That Leonardo DiCaprio movie? You know the one that he was out in the wilderness? You know which one I'm talking about? Reverend or something like that? I feel like he would look like that. He was just like very like haggard and like he can survive out in the wild. I think it's called Reverend. It's the one where Leo DiCaprio bit some guy's ear off or something along the line. I was like, ugh. He got an Oscar for that movie, if I remember correctly, but I was like... Oh, Red October. You should try Golden Corral. It's why every few years I pick up a 6 of Schniffer. You need to be reminded what's bad to appreciate what's good. Ooh. Eat the eyes. Oh, gosh. Oh, thank you. So Game Boy Genius. I hope that's my channel. It better not be. I don't know. You know, actually, if Game Boy Genius linked Eli's channel over there, I wouldn't even be mad because I hope Eli gets to 1 million soon. You can hear this quality chair. Every time I turn, you hear it. Like. On Twitch, you can stream to a total of 0 viewers. Hello, what's going on here? What? Lewis, if you're watching this, I don't know. I can't answer you right now. I'm streaming. No, how could it? Okay, bro, this can't get over to 500 subs today because there's only 314 people watching and I only expect about 100 people to be consciously watching.